Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about the poll optimization and how to effectively make a better polling plan for yourself and sometimes even poll on banners that you thought you couldn't poll on originally. There is going to be two types of players. There's going to be the competitive player and there's going to be the casual players. For the casual players, they often focus more on Umas more than the support cards since they are enjoying the career and team trials over Champions League. And that of course is fine. However, this video is going to be giving you both the support card and also Umas has an explanation. And of course there is going to be the competitive players who only focus on very high value of Umas and also support cards. So what they end up doing is that they don't really pull on much of their favorite characters unless they just happen to get them randomly while pulling, or they are shared with another very high value Uma. And of course they enjoy Champions League more than running the careers for the Uma stories and also team trials. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is going to be a very important question to ask for yourself. What style do you often use? So starting from this scenario, there is going to be this principle where you want to focus on one style only, and I will talk about it why specifically. Number 2 is how much carats do you get pure a scenario for free. So for each scenario, it's about 90,000 to 140,000 ish total amounts of carats, depending on how active you are in the game and of course if you participate in Champions League or not. So the lowest possible amount that you can get is probably around 90,000, and the highest amount is if you are playing Champions League a lot, you do a lot of careers, etc, etc. You could be looking at an additional 20,000 to 30,000 carats, and of course there's going to be new events that we get carats from, so this is just a rough estimate. I'm going to be taking the 90,000, which is the lowest possible amount, to talk about like a pool plan and talk about what you should do in order to squeeze the most out of this amount of carats. So there is a question that you wanna ask. Is the next scenario first banner important? And this is a very important question too. So starting from Grand Life scenario and onwards, the first banner is often a really good banner. This is going to be the Light Hello and I guess Take On Speed. This is a very strong banner. So the question is asking yourself, is the PAL card needed? 9 times out of 10, yes, you do need the PAL card. So now we wanna save carats for that banner in order to not fall behind or struggle throughout an entire scenario. It is a very long period. So overall, you wanna ask yourself that question in order to save carats for this banner. Next up, is the support card that you are pulling for on the University selector? For example, in Mikiryu Track period, we have Mr. CB and the Summer Marazinski speed card. Are these cards on the University selector? Yes? Okay, that's cool. Is my other cards already high on limit breaks or max limit breaks already? If the answer is yes, you could substitute the pulls from this banner and just use the University selector instead. So for example, I'm pulling on Summer Marazinski speed or Mr. CB. What I can do is simply pull on the Summer Marazinski speed on the initial banner, get to like one limit break, and then later on I use a crystal and also the University selector to get it to limit break 3, and of course enjoy myself a strong front runner card for a really long time. So that is a way to think about it. Next up is things that you should avoid completely. Maining 2 different styles. I'm going to be honest with you, if you are a free-to-play player, you should not do this if you are looking to be on the semi-competitive to the competitive side. If you are a complete casual, that is fine, but if you are a semi-competitive to a competitive player, as a free-to-play player, I do not recommend maining two different styles at all. It increases the amount of carats by so much that you are not going to be able to keep up. For example, in Make a New Track period, you have, let's say you want to pull on Bellroom Sandsky, you want to pull on Summer Marzetsky Speed. Oh, I'm also an encloser player. Now I have to pull on Mr. CB, and potentially I want to pull on the cheerleader King Halo because of her unique condition. So this is the problem. Let's say you have to pity on all these banners. That is 120,000 total carats. Where are you getting the rest of the carats that you need for the next scenario? This is something just important for you to know. Is not overspending to the point that you are going to struggle on the next scenario. And also, let's say for example, Mr. CBA and King Halo are just 1 week apart. So you probably will unfortunately have to skip one of them if your carats is completely zero at the start of Make a New Track scenario. So that is something important to keep in mind. Next up is just randomly pulling on Umas just because they are either cute or you like them. So this is a problem. If you are randomly pulling on a lot of the Umas, first off, you're not most likely not going to get the Umas that you want because you are just pulling recklessly, not saving properly, unfortunately, and that means that you will end up being frustrated. The best way to go about this is that you only pull on specific Umas that you actually really like. Just because, let's say, hey, I like Fuji Kiseki, I have a small amount, I'm going to pull on the Bellroom banner. Oh, I also like the cheerleader Nice Nature slightly, I'm going to pull. Now, try to make it condensed to just your actual favorite characters. Pulling on too many Umas would mean that, first off, you're not going to be able to pull on actual Umas that you actually like confidently, because let's say unfortunately you pull, you have to go to pity. Okay, that is unfortunate. Of course there's going to be lucky people who would just get on the first 10. That happens. Just go in the mind that, oh, I'm going to have to pity on this banner, for example. That mindset is actually going to be very helpful for you, because if you go on each banner, yeah, I'm going to go onto that banner and I'm going to the pity. If I get early, that's nice. If I go to pity, that is fine. So that's the correct mindset. Just do not recklessly pull on almost every single banner. Trust me, you will end up not enjoying the game a lot because you'll feel frustrated on skipping Umas that you either slightly don't like or that they are parents. Next up is the most important one after point number 2, is that instantly using your tickets and not saving them. This is essentially like outside of everything else, I think this is actually like, if you just spend your tickets recklessly and not saving them, you're actually putting yourself on a major disadvantage. Each ticket is essentially a worth of 150 carats. Added up, stacked more and more, throughout the scenario you are expected to get between 60 to a total of 100 of these support card tickets and also Uma support card tickets. So these are extremely important because, for example, let's say you are a semi-competitive player, you will probably have about 50 to 60 support cards. This does not include champions meeting that you will probably get throughout Make a New Track scenario. Those are essentially an extra 18,000 total amounts of carats sitting on your account, and it is actually going to be better to use these tickets alongside free pulls. If a banner has free pulls, let's say the Kita-san Black Uma banner, you really like Kita-san Black, okay, cool, now I can actually use these 60 free pulls that the Kita-san Black banner has and also my support card trainee scout tickets, I will have about 120 total free pulls. So that means that instead of spending about 30,000 total amounts of carats, you will end up saving yourself about 18,000 total carats just from the Uma scout ticket. So those are extremely powerful. So here is going to be an example plan. Let's say you really like Measure Palmer, and that means that you are going to be a front runner player for the most part, because Measure Palmer requires you to be on the top position to procure unique. So that is cool. Now you are a front runner player. You have Summer Marzeski speed that you want to pull for because that card is extremely good for your front runner, and of course you enjoy making your Measure Palmer being extremely good. High rank means that you will feel very good about yourself. Then of course you have the Light Hello and I guess Tekken speed cards that you also want to consider pulling on. So the total is going to be 120,000 carats. You could be asking yourself a question. If I go to pity on every single banner, the amounts of carats is essentially the entire Mechanu track worth of free carats. And you could be right, but there is also going to be things that we can talk about in order to reduce the amount of carats needed in order to save ourselves a lot of extra carats moving on to the next scenario. So first question, does the banner have free pulls? If the banner does have free pulls, then you want to multiply the free pulls by 150, and that means that those are the amount of carats that you will end up saving if you decided to pull on the banner. So for example, the Light Hello and Aegis Tekion banner, since it is a anniversary banner, that means that there's going to be 100 free pulls. So that means that the Light Hello banner and Aegis Tekion banner is only going to be 45,000, and if you want to go to the double pity to max them out both, since both of them are very good cards. Then moving on, we want to also include the tickets. So let's say you accumulate about 50 of each ticket, which is about 7,500 total carats for the Uma scout ticket and the trainee scout ticket. So now we end up realizing, hey, if we pull properly and not recklessly pull on every single banner, we will be able to get Measure Palmer. We will also be able to pull on the Summer Marzensky, the speed card, and also pull on the Light Hello banner double pity, which of course is extremely good. This over here ends up saving ourselves about 30,000 total carats. 30,000 total carats is a full pity, so of course that is extremely nice. So here is going to be what I did in Unity Cup and what is the result that I got from pulling on specific banners. So I started the scenario with about 38-ish carats before pulling on the Yako Kishimoto and the Rice Shower Power card. So that costed me about 15,000 total carats because there was 100 free pulls. So the next banner I saved all the way until the festival banner, being Festival Rudolph and Festival Gold City, because I really like it Gold City. You could criticize me on that part because Gold City is an Uma that is a late searcher and I'm mostly a front runner player. But to my answer to that question is that I had too much carats, so why skip my favorite character? I'm already properly pulling. So what ends up happening is that I could slot a banner that I shouldn't really be pulling on just because I really like the character. So that is an explanation over here. Overall, I shouldn't be pulling on this banner, but I pulled anyways because I properly saved. And then I pulled on the New Year banner. That got me lucky and I only needed 7,500 total carats. So here are the banners that I'm going to be pulling on the entirety of Unity Cup duration. As you can clearly see, the total amount that it costs is over 100,000 credits. And if I talk about my savings now, you will realize that the numbers that I gave earlier with the Major Palmer example was just extremely low. You could probably pull on an extra banner or even 2 banners from whatever that I gave you. So as you can clearly see, I have to pull on the Valentine Mihano Bourbon banner, and I assume I'm going to be going to Petty. If I get 2 copies of Mihano Bourbon early, then I will leave the banner, which of course is nice. But I assume that I will go to Petty. And the next banner is the Fine Motion banner. I have 1 limit break Fine Motion, so it is very good value for me to pull on this Fine Motion banner and potentially get it to limit break 3, because that is my expected average. I expect to get 1 copy of Fine Motion before going to the Petty. If I do get 2 copies before the Petty, that of course is awesome, because that means that I get maximum break Fine Motion for Make a New Track, period. So here are my current savings. I have just about 73,000 total credits as of the making of this video. I also have 64 Uma scout ticket and also 55 support card scout ticket. If I want to use them now, I would reduce the amounts of the Valentine Mihano Bourbon and Isha and Flash banner by 9,600. And of course, if I use my support cards ticket on the Fine Motion and Kamikami Princess banner, I would reduce the credits needed by about 8,250. However, in the Fine Motion and Kamikami Princess banner, there is going to be about 6 singles that is going to be on that banner. So I could use about 4 tickets and save myself a full multi, so 1,500 credits. So if I end up going to Petty on both banners and didn't use my scout tickets at all, I would end up having about 35,000 total credits at the start of making a track, about 80 Uma scout ticket and 70 support card scout ticket, which is going to be extremely nice. But since I have max limit break Kita-san Black and I have max limit break Fine Motion by now, I'll probably be able to max out super quick. So now you will realize that once you optimize your pools and have a decent pool plan, you will get the support cards that you want and also pull on your favorite characters. And that's pretty much it. The moral of this video is that I want you to have a decent pool plan. See what Uma that you actually really enjoy pulling for and pick the support cards that make her the strongest. And of course, try to not pull on too much Umas, because sometimes the next scenario requires you to have a card that without it you're practically going to not enjoy the scenario at all. And that's pretty much it. If you found this video to be helpful, consider subscribing and consider joining the community server, link in the comment section, and I hope to see you in the next one.